Imagine being summoned to the depths of the Pacific Ocean, where the US Navy has discovered something extraordinary. Not a sunken ship or a hidden treasure, but a massive spacecraft that seems to have been buried under 300 years of coral. Its origin? Unknown. Its purpose? A complete mystery. What would you do if you were chosen to be part of the elite team to explore it? Would you feel excitement or fear? This is the irresistible premise of Sphere, a masterclass in psychological and scientific suspense by Michael Crichton. The book plunges us deep underwater, both literally and metaphorically, into the dark recesses of the human mind and the dangerous power of imagination. The story begins with psychologist Dr. Norman Johnson being abruptly flown to the middle of the South Pacific. He has no idea why he's there, but soon discovers he's been summoned by the Navy to consult on a mysterious object found at the bottom of the ocean. He's not alone. He joins a hand-picked team of top experts, including Beth Halpern, a biochemist, and his former patient, Harry Adams, a mathematical genius with a touch of paranoia, and Ted Fielding, an ambitious astrophysicist with a chip on his shoulder. Together they form a think tank originally designed to respond to alien contact, though none of them ever expected the government to take it seriously. Until now, the object they're brought to study is revealed to be a colossal spacecraft, submerged nearly 1,000 feet underwater and covered in centuries of coral growth. Initial carbon dating estimates the ship has been down there for over 300 years, which presents an impossible paradox. Space travel didn't exist in the 18th century. As the team descends into the deep-sea habitat the Navy has constructed near the ship, they are immediately enveloped in isolation, pressure, and a growing sense of claustrophobia. The ocean around them is vast and silent, but within the habitat, tension begins to rise quickly. The ship, once they enter it, is even more baffling. Everything inside is strangely clean and seemingly preserved. Even more confounding is that everything is labeled in English. The crew quarters, control panels, food storage. All signs indicate it's an American spacecraft. Yet how could a Bomomozas, spacecraft designed by Americans, be buried beneath centuries of coral? The answer is found in a ship's log, which mentions a temporal event, a black hole encounter. The ship, it appears, was launched centuries in the future and was thrown back in time due to a gravitational anomaly. This introduces one of the most exciting sci-fi elements of the novel. Time travel that's subtle and complex, not flashy or filled with paradoxes. But the greatest mystery lies in the heart of the ship, a massive, impossibly smooth, and golden sphere. The sphere is mesmerizing. It has no apparent door or opening, but it's not just reflective. It seems to absorb light in a way that defies physical law. The team becomes obsessed. Who built it? Why is it here? What does it do? Then something unexpected happens. Harry disappears inside the sphere. They never see how he got in. When he reappears, he's unable or unwilling to explain what happened. Soon after, strange occurrences begin to plague the habitat. Giant squids begin to attack the habitat from outside. The team's computers receive cryptic and increasingly threatening messages signed by an entity named Jerry. Beth finds jellyfish swarming the habitat windows, unnatural and aggressive. The team starts to unravel. Stress fractures their trust in one another. Panic creeps in. What's terrifying is that these aren't just normal hallucinations or glitches. They're real, or at least they seem real. Norman slowly comes to understand that after entering the sphere, Harry has somehow gained the ability to make his thoughts a reality. But not his conscious thoughts, his fears, his anxieties, his nightmares. The sphere grants the power of manifestation, turning imagination into reality. The implications are chilling. It's not just that Harry can bring things to life. He, can destroy with his thoughts too. Every fear he has, every monster he imagines, becomes tangible. Reality bends to emotion, and Harry isn't stable. What makes Fear so gripping is how Crichton masterfully shifts the danger from the external mystery to the internal landscape of the human mind. The deep-sea setting becomes more than just a location. It's a metaphor for the subconscious. Claustrophobic, dark, pressurized. It reflects the characters' inner states as they each struggle with their demons. Crichton doesn't just tell a sci-fi story. He delves into the psychology of fear, ego, and the fragile nature of perception. Beth and Ted also begin showing signs of psychological deterioration. Ted grows arrogant and erratic. Beth becomes cold and suspicious. It becomes clear that each of them, including Norman, is vulnerable to the sphere's influence. One by one, they are tested by their own psyches, as what they think begins to bleed into what's real. It's not a monster in the dark they have to fear. It's their own mind. Eventually, Norman realizes that all of them who entered the sphere possess its terrifying power. It's not limited to Harry, and this means that anything they fear could become deadly. A creeping dread overtakes the group. How can they protect themselves from their own thoughts? How can they trust their reality when they are literally shaping it with their subconscious? The tension reaches a boiling point when Norman confronts the others with the truth. He pieces together that the creature attacks, the messages from Jerry, the environment malfunctions. These are not alien in origin. They are projections, made real by the sphere's gift. They hold the power of gods but the minds of flawed, emotionally reactive humans. It's not a gift. It's a curse. Realizing the danger they pose to the world above if they ever leave with these powers intact, Norman makes a desperate decision. He convinces Beth and Harry that they must use the very power of the sphere to forget, to will away. Their abilities to forget the sphere, the ship, everything. It's the only way to ensure they don't accidentally destroy the world by dreaming up catastrophes. In a gripping climax, the trio returns to the surface. The Navy assumes the mission was a failure and the spacecraft remains unexplained. No one remembers the sphere. It's as if it never happened. The mystery remains buried, sealed beneath the ocean and in the forgotten corners of their minds. But the final chilling question lingers. If the sphere still exists down there, waiting silently in the dark, what happens if someone finds it again? Sphere is not just a science fiction thriller, it's a study in how the human mind can become its own worst enemy. Michael Crichton uses cutting-edge science to frame a story that's fundamentally about fear, memory, and the dangerous illusions of control. What begins as an alien mystery turns into a mirror, revealing what lies beneath the surface of human consciousness. Crichton's pacing is relentless. His use of science is intelligent but never overwhelming. He blends psychology with speculative fiction to create a novel that's both thought-provoking and pulse-pounding. The characters, though flawed, are believable, and their slow descent into paranoia is chillingly realistic. The underwater setting amplifies every sense of dread. The isolation, the pressure, the inability to escape. It's a perfect crucible for psychological breakdown. This book asks deep questions in the most suspenseful way possible. What would happen if your mind could create reality? Could you control it? Could anyone? And if not, would you destroy yourself with your own fears? In Sphere, the monster isn't from another world. It's from inside us. It's the perfect audiobook for listeners who want more than just entertainment. It challenges you, grips you, and stays with you long after the final chapter ends. So if you're ready to dive into a world where science meets fear, where your thoughts are your worst enemies, and where the darkest place isn't outer space, but the human soul, then Sphere is a story you need to hear. And remember, once you go inside the sphere, You may never come back the same. If you want to listen full audiobook for free, link in description.